Okay. Here we go. Here we go. The year is 2025. I am sitting in your office. You just offered me a job. $40 an hour. It's a technical machine operator job. I've never had a paying job before in my life. You have 4 openings. I'm your only candidate. I look across the table at you and I say, are you willing to pay for my ongoing education for the next 3 years and guarantee me a promotion? How do you feel? Does that feel a little bit uncomfortable? Does it feel improbable? If you look at the skill gap data 10 years out, I don't think that is improbable, especially for technical kinds of positions in Western Michigan. However, I believe that we have almost all the elements that we need in our community today to assure people continuous employment and continuous education. We have an educational system that's made up of many parts, but it delivers GEDs, it delivers high school diplomas, it delivers associate degrees, technical degrees, college degrees, master's degrees, so on. We have a job industry that's great at turning out jobs. In fact, in preparation for today, I talked to 5 companies that I'm quite familiar with, and they told me between the 5 of them, they have 70 open positions. That's the last 2 weeks' data. And those positions range from production, skilled workforce, or skilled trade, technical sales, and executive management. So the whole range, right? We have the employees. We have people in the system who are looking for jobs. We look at the unemployment rate. Do you scratch your head when you hear things like that and wonder why we're still dealing with an 8% unemployment rate? So what's the problem? You kind of wonder, don't you? The problem is that our systems are not very well aligned. We have employers who are not really very well focused on doing talent development. And as a society, as individuals, we're not very good at doing career development or career planning, right? So the way it works is like this. I get out of high school, and maybe I get a summer job. Maybe it's a really good job. Maybe I go to college. Maybe I just say, hey, this is a great job. I'm going to keep working for a while. Or then I decide to go to school. But now I'm not working anymore, so I've got this little bit of loss of income. And then I go to school and I pursue a 2-year degree, but I need to work. I moved into an apartment with some friends, and so then I go and get a job, and I'm not getting an education anymore. So there's an education gap. And so on, right? So there's these gaps between education and employment and education and employment. So why worry about this? Why is this a problem for us? Because there's opportunity in these gaps. Right? When somebody leaves an employer unexpectedly, it creates a gap. It creates an inefficiency for that employer. There are coworkers that have to make up for that difference. It creates stress in a workforce. You may not be able to deliver on your brand customer if the departure was sudden. For the individual, it creates loss of earnings, intermittent earnings, reduces their lifetime purchasing power. So there's these opportunities in our communities. We also have the situation where people are qualified. They've gone on, they've gotten continuing education, they're qualified for the next job, but they're not uncomfortable enough in their current job to actually go out and seek another job, right, that they're now qualified for. And their current employer doesn't have that next job available for them. So we need to work on this problem in our community. What do we need to do to change it? So that's what we have to solve for. And I think we need three things. I think we need to change employer expectations. I think employers need to look at providing education along with employment. That is, if you come to work for me, I would say to you, you have to continue your education in order to keep your job. So instead of having our tuition reimbursement plans be sort of exceptional, you know, if you're a company that has one, people are like, oh, that's great. They become the norm. It's like, what do you mean you don't have an education reimbursement plan? How do you even stay in business? Right? I mean, that's what you do to stay relevant. I think that's what employers are going to have to do to stay relevant 10 years from now. I think as employees, we're going to have to change our expectations. And I think the expectation is going to be that our skills are only going to last us 3 to 5 years. And so, you know, personally, how do I think about that? I can't stand getting a new cell phone because I hate relearning another phone. But if I want to stay relevant, you got to keep up with the technology, right? We all have to do that to stay relevant. However, I think there's one piece that's missing in our complex world today. And that is, we need a coordinating organization. And why do we need a coordinating organization? Because mapping people's education and their career is nobody's core competency. So the goal is to bring together the job market and the education market to provide a clear career path for individuals. So the parts of the system would look something like this. We have the educational system already. We have the job industry. We've got the employee. We've got the employer. And now we have this coordinating organization whose core competency is, in fact, to map people's careers and to help companies with talent development. So the goal of that organization is only three things. First of all, it's to build a network of employers who are interested in doing this. And the value that they bring to those employers is going to be helping them do talent mapping so that they have a clear idea of what they're going to need as they either grow or shrink or their markets change. And for the employees, for the individuals, what the value is going to be is that long-term career strategy so they can always stay employed and they can always get their continuing education. So let me just run through how I see this working. I am a high school dropout. And I'm working at the local fast food restaurant. And I hear about this coordinating organization. And I realize I don't want to do this job the rest of my life, so I go and talk to them. I go and talk to them and I say, what are you interested in? I said, you know, I was pretty good in shop in high school. And so they say, well, what about a technical degree? Oh, great, I'll give it a try. So I go and I sign up and I go start getting this technical degree. And I actually do really, really well. So I'm checking back in with the coordinating organization, and they say, guess what? There's an opening for an internship at this company over here. Great. It's a paid internship. Fantastic. So I quit my fast food job, and I go over here, and I get this paid internship, and I finish my GED, and I finish my associate's degree. And then the company I'm working for actually offers me a full-time job based on my technical training. Fantastic. Now I'm really excited, and I go on and I decide I want to get a 4-year engineering degree. Well, the company that I'm working for doesn't have that kind of a position available. So, check back in with the coordinating organization. There's another company that does. So I go on and I get my, I start working on my 4-year degree, I get another job, I'm getting a little bit of experience with this company, I'm doing better and better, I get my 4-year degree. The company that originally offered my internship, who's part of the network, I check in with my coordinating organization, and they say, hey, they've got a senior design engineer position open. Are you kidding me? I get to go back to that company that gave me my first opportunity and take a senior level job with them. So I do that, and I keep getting more experience. I now work, and I get my master's degree, and then I've actually saved enough money during my life, because I've never been unemployed, that I go out and I start my own business, doing engineering and design. And that's the career path. I think if we can figure out in our communities what this coordinating organization can look like, and how we can plug people into it and map so we have education and employment continuously throughout somebody's career, I think there is a tremendous amount of economic power and opportunity for everybody to figure out a way to build and fund that organization. So, I would challenge you, if you're in a position to be able to think about that, to be able to impact it and talk about it, I would encourage you to do it. Because in 10 years, we're going to need that coordinating organization. Thank you.